Good morning, Hastings. Hope you're ready for the weekend. It is Saturday, February 21st, and we're going to kick things off with a quick look at that classic Minnesota weather we've got going on. And then we'll take a little trip back in time to see what makes today's date so special. So let's get right to it.
You know, this quote from HastingsNow.com just nails it, doesn't it? It's that exact feeling that makes you glad you live here. We all know what that Minnesota crisp feels like in our bones.
All right, so let's break down the actual numbers so you can plan your Saturday and make the most of it. Okay, so the high today is going to top out at a pretty brisk 23 degrees. Yep, definitely winter coat weather. And then once that sun goes down, it's going to drop to a pretty chilly 10 degrees tonight. But the real number to pay attention to is the wind. We've got that northwest wind blowing at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that is what's giving us that bite. It actually brought the wind chill down to just 4 degrees this morning. Oh, and one more thing. We might see some light flurries popping up after 11 a.m.
So here's the bottom line. Yeah, you might see some snowflakes, but it is absolutely nothing to worry about. The forecast calls it snow confetti, which I gotta say is the perfect way to put it. So no, you do not need to get the shovels out. It's just a little something to make the day look pretty.
Okay, so we've got the forecast. Now, how should you actually prepare for the day if you're heading out and about?
This is the big question, isn't it? It's not about hiding inside all day. Nope, it's about being smart so you can actually get out there and enjoy it.
So here's your game plan. First off, the basics are a must. With that wind, your winter coat, hat, and gloves, they're not optional. And hey, here's a pro tip. Toss an extra layer in the car for later. You'll be glad you did. And for sure, keep an eye out for slick spots, especially if you're downtown or near the river. My personal favorite tip, though, plan a stop for coffee or hot chocolate. It makes even running errands feel like a nice little treat. Now that we're all bundled up and ready for today, let's switch gears and take a look back. It turns out February 21st is a pretty fascinating date, a day for creating these legacies that really changed the world, from right here in our own backyard to the global stage.
We're going to dive into 3 totally different legacies born on this day. A local one that keeps our kids safe, a cultural one that reshaped music forever, and a political one that actually changed the course of the Cold War.
So let's start with a legacy born right here. Just up the road in St. Paul, a little experiment at Cathedral School helped launch the entire idea of school safety patrols. Think about that for a second. A tradition that keeps kids safe all across the country started as a local Minnesota idea, and we still see that impact every single school day.
Now, on the music scene, today also marks the birthday of the one and only, the legendary Nina Simone. People called her the high priestess of soul, and her powerful voice and just unbelievable piano skills, they weren't just revolutionary for music, they actually became a soundtrack for the civil rights movement. Her legacy is this incredible mix of art and activism, and it's just immeasurable.
And finally, we've got a huge political legacy. On this date, back in 1972, President Nixon landed in China, and that visit ended decades of total diplomatic silence. This wasn't just some small visit. It fundamentally redrew the map of the Cold War. It was a moment whose geopolitical ripples we are still feeling today.
All right, let's bring it back home with a little bit of a smile. This is perfect. That wind coming off the Mississippi today, it really does feel like it's auditioning for a dramatic role, doesn't it?
So, as you're looking out at that majestic river today, braving that dramatic wind, it kind of makes you think, right? From school safety patrols to global politics, this date is all about moments that last. So what small moment today is going to become part of your own personal history?
Have a fantastic and warm Saturday, Hastings. And hey, if this helped you plan your day, feel free to share it with a friend or neighbor. We'll see you next time.